My girlfriend said, "You're not invited. My family feels awkward around you." I nodded once. Understood. She got dressed and left smiling. I stayed behind and made one quiet decision. Later that night, the party didn't end the way anyone expected. I'm 36, and I thought I'd learned to read people by now. Apparently, I was wrong. My girlfriend and I had been together for almost 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's wedding, danced twice, exchanged numbers, and somehow ended up building what I thought was a solid relationship. She came from money, not crazy rich, but comfortable. Country club memberships, annual family trips to resorts, that kind of thing. I didn't come from that world, but I never felt like it mattered. Until it did. Her family tolerated me at first. Polite smiles, surface-level questions about my work, comments about how different our backgrounds were said with a laugh that didn't quite reach their eyes. I brushed it off. People have their prejudices. I figured if I kept being myself, they'd come around eventually. They didn't. It was a Wednesday afternoon when she told me about the party. Her parents were hosting their annual holiday gathering at their house. Big event, extended family, family friends, the whole production. She'd mentioned it weeks ago, and I'd assumed I was going. We'd been to plenty of family events together. "So, what time should I be ready on Saturday?" I asked, while we were making dinner. She stopped chopping vegetables. "About that." I looked up from the pasta I was stirring. "What? You're not invited." I thought she was joking. "Very funny." "I'm serious. My family feels awkward around you. My mom specifically asked if I could come alone this year." I turned off the stove. "You're serious?" "Yeah. I'm sorry. I know it's weird, but it's just easier this way. It's one night. You understand, right?" "No, I don't understand. What does awkward mean?" She sighed like I was being difficult. "You know, you don't really fit in with them. You don't play golf. You don't know the people they know. You don't get their jokes. They have to explain everything. It's just uncomfortable for everyone." "Uncomfortable for them or uncomfortable for you?" "Don't make this bigger than it is. It's one party. It's your family's holiday party, the one you've been talking about for weeks, and I'm not invited because I don't play golf?" "That's not what I said." "That's exactly what you said." She put down the knife, wiped her hands on a towel. "Look, I don't want to fight about this. I already told my mom I'd come alone. It's done." "When did you tell her that?" "Last week." "Last week. So you've known for a week, and you're just telling me now?" I didn't know how to bring it up. "How about, hey, my family doesn't want you at their party?" That would have been a start. "You're being dramatic." "I'm being dramatic? Your family doesn't want me around and you think that's fine?" "It's one night. You can do something else. See your friends. Relax. You're always saying you never have time to yourself." I stared at her. She actually believed what she was saying, that this was reasonable, that I should be grateful for a night off from her family's judgment. "Understood," I said finally. She blinked. "What?" I said understood. You're not inviting me. Message received. Don't be mad. I'm not mad. I'm understanding, like you asked. She studied my face, trying to figure out if I was serious or setting up for a bigger fight. When I didn't say anything else, she seemed relieved. Thank you. I knew you'd get it. It's really not personal. I went back to the pasta. Sure. Saturday came. She got ready in my bathroom, spending over an hour on hair and makeup. I sat in the living room, scrolling through my phone, not really looking at anything. She came out looking good. Red dress, heels, the works. How do I look? She asked. Great. You're sure you're okay with this? I said I understood. She smiled, kissed me on the cheek. I'll text you later. Don't wait up. Then she left. I heard her car start, pull out of the driveway, fade into the distance. I sat there for about 10 minutes. Then I made a decision. I pulled out my laptop and started writing. Everything. Every comment her family had made over the past 3 years. Every time they'd corrected my grammar or explained something I already knew. Every time they'd introduced me as the boyfriend, with a tone that suggested quotation marks. Every passive-aggressive remark about my clothes, my car, my lack of country club membership. Then I wrote about tonight. About being uninvited because I made them uncomfortable. About my girlfriend thinking this was reasonable. I wrote it all in a long, detailed message. And then I sent it to every member of her family whose contact information I had. Her parents, her siblings, her aunt and uncle who were probably at the party right now. The message was simple. I was told I make you uncomfortable, and that's why I wasn't invited tonight. I want you to know that I've always tried to be respectful and kind to all of you. If I've failed at that, I apologize. But I also think you should know that making someone feel unwelcome and then asking their partner to exclude them isn't the kindness you probably think it is. I hope you enjoy your evening. I hit send before I could overthink it. Then I packed a bag, took the spare key she'd given me off my key ring, and left it on the kitchen counter. I drove to my friend's place across town. Update 1. My phone started blowing up around 8:30. First her, then her sister, then her mother. I didn't answer, just watched the notifications pile up. At 9, my friend asked what was going on. I showed him the message I'd sent. "Oh man," he said. "You nuked it from orbit." Was I wrong? No, but you definitely just ended that relationship. It was already over. I just made it official. Around 10, she started leaving voicemails. I listened to the first one out of curiosity. "What the hell did you do? My entire family is upset. My mom is crying. My dad wants to know who you think you are. Call me back right now." I deleted it. Listened to the second one. "I'm leaving the party. We need to talk. Where are you?" Deleted. Third one. "I'm at your place. You're not here. Where are you? Why did you leave your key?" I texted back. "I'm staying somewhere else tonight. The key is on the counter. I think we both know this is done." She called immediately. I didn't answer. She texted, "You don't get to do this. You don't get to blow up my family and then disappear." Me. I didn't blow up anything. I told the truth. If that caused problems, maybe that says something about the truth. Her. "You're being childish." Me. "I'm being honest. Something you should have been a week ago." Her. "We're not breaking up over this." Me. "We're not breaking up over this. We're breaking up because you chose your family's comfort over basic respect for me." The message was just me finally saying what I should have said a long time ago. She stopped responding after that. Update 2 Sunday morning, I woke up to a text from her sister. We'd always gotten along reasonably well. Or so I thought. "You humiliated our family. Whatever problems you had with us, you should have talked to us privately, not ambushed us at a party." I texted back. "I was excluded from that party specifically because talking to your family hasn't worked for 3 years. When was I supposed to do this? During another event where I'm tolerated but not welcomed?" Her. "You made my mother cry." Me. "Your mother told her daughter not to bring me because I make people uncomfortable. Did she think that wouldn't hurt?" Her. "It's different." Me. "How?" She didn't respond. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, I guess, showed up at my friend's place around noon. I don't know how she found me, but she was persistent. "We need to talk," she said when I answered the door. "There's nothing to talk about." "Yes, there is. You can't just end 3 years like this. You ended it when you uninvited me. I just made it official. I uninvited you from one party. Because your family thinks I'm not good enough for their world, and you agreed with them. I never said that. You didn't have to. You chose them over me. You've been choosing them over me for months, maybe years. I was just too stubborn to see it." She looked genuinely confused. "What are you talking about?" "Every time they made a comment about me, you laughed along. Every time they suggested I didn't fit in, you agreed. You never defended me, not once. And then you uninvited me to their party and expected me to be fine with it. Because I didn't want to fight with them. But you're fine fighting with me. That's not fair. None of this is fair. That's the point. She started crying. Real tears, not the manipulative kind. I love you. I don't think you do. I think you love the idea of me. The version of me that doesn't make waves with your family. But that's not who I am. And I'm tired of pretending it is. So that's it? We're done? Yeah, we're done. She left. I watched her car disappear down the street and felt nothing but relief. Update 3. The next few days were quiet. I stayed at my friend's place, went to work, came back. My ex texted a few times, asking if we could talk, if I'd reconsider, if there was any way to fix this. I didn't respond. Then, on Thursday, I got a call from her father. That surprised me. We'd barely spoken in 3 years beyond pleasantries. We need to talk, he said. His voice was different, less dismissive than usual. About what? About what you said. About how we've treated you. I think I said everything I needed to say. I know. And you were right. I wasn't expecting that. What? You were right. We did make you feel unwelcome. And we shouldn't have. My wife and I have been talking about it all week. Your message. It made us look at ourselves. And we didn't like what we saw. I didn't know what to say. I'm not asking you to forgive us, he continued. I'm not even asking you to get back together with my daughter. I just wanted you to know that we heard you. And we're sorry. Okay. That's it? Just okay? I appreciate the apology. I do. But it doesn't change anything. Your daughter chose you over me. And I can't be in a relationship where I'm always going to be second to people who don't respect me. I understand. For what it's worth, she's devastated. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? Honestly? I don't know. Part of me is. Part of me thinks she should have thought about that before she uninvited me. He was quiet for a moment. You're a good man. I'm sorry we didn't see that sooner. Thank you. He hung up. Update 4. 2 weeks later, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She looked tired. We made eye contact, and for a second I thought about walking out, but I didn't. Hi, she said. Hi. Can we talk? Just for a minute? Sure. We sat at a corner table. She ordered coffee she didn't drink, just held it between her hands. My dad told me he called you, she said. Yeah. He never apologizes to anyone. That's a big deal. I know. Does it change anything? No. She nodded like she expected that. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, about how I always chose them over you. And? You were right. I did. I didn't realize I was doing it, but I was. Every time they made a comment, I should have shut it down. Every time they made you feel small, I should have defended you. And I didn't. No, you didn't. I'm sorry. I appreciate that. Is there any chance? No. You didn't even let me finish. I don't need to. The answer is no. Not because I hate you or because I want revenge, but because I finally understand what I deserve. And it's not someone who only fights for me when they've already lost me. Her eyes filled with tears. I really loved you. I believe you. But love isn't enough when respect is missing, and you never really respected me. Not the way I deserved. I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life. Maybe. But that's not my burden to carry anymore. I stood up, left money for my coffee on the table, and walked out. Final update. It's been 3 months since that night. 3 months since I sent that message and walked away from a relationship that was slowly killing my self-worth. I moved into a new apartment last month. It's smaller than the place I had before, but it's mine. I'm not sharing space with someone who makes me feel like I need to apologize for existing. I heard through mutual friends that she's dating someone new, someone from her world. someone who plays golf and knows the right people and fits seamlessly into her family's events. I'm happy for her. Genuinely. She found what she was looking for. I'm dating too, actually. Someone I met through work. She's from a similar background to mine. When I told her the story about being uninvited, she looked horrified. That's cruel, she said. Who does that to someone they supposedly love? Someone who doesn't actually know what love means, I said. Her family invited me to dinner last week. It was casual, warm, easy. Her dad asked about my work, actually listened to my answers, didn't make me feel like I needed to prove myself. Her mom made jokes that included me instead of at my expense. Afterward, my girlfriend asked if I was okay. Why wouldn't I be? I know meeting parents can be stressful, especially after, It wasn't stressful. It was nice. They were kind. They liked you. Good. I liked them too. She smiled, squeezed my hand. I'm glad. That's when I realized how simple it should have been all along. How relationships aren't supposed to be battles where you constantly fight for basic dignity. They're supposed to be partnerships where both people lift each other up. My ex tried to reach out one more time about a month ago. Long text about how she'd learned from her mistakes, how therapy was helping her see her patterns, how she hoped I was doing well. I responded, I'm glad you're working on yourself. I genuinely hope you find happiness. But I've moved on, and I need you to respect that. She replied, I understand. Thank you for everything, even for the hard lessons. I didn't respond after that. There was nothing left to say. Someone asked me recently if I regretted sending that message, if I thought it was too harsh, too public, too final. The answer is no, because that message wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about hurting anyone or causing drama. It was about finally standing up for myself, about refusing to accept being treated as less than, about drawing a line and saying, this far, no further. Could I have handled it differently? Probably. Could I have been more diplomatic, more private, more gentle? Sure. But I'd been gentle for 3 years. I'd been understanding and patient and accommodating. And where did it get me? Uninvited from a party because I made people uncomfortable by existing outside their narrow definition of acceptable. So I spoke up. I told the truth. And if that truth made people uncomfortable, well, maybe they needed to be uncomfortable. Maybe they needed to sit with that discomfort and think about why their actions had consequences. I'm 36 years old. I have a new apartment, a new relationship, and a renewed sense of what I will and won't accept from people who claim to care about me. The party didn't end the way anyone expected that night. Not because of what I said, but because saying it forced everyone to look at themselves honestly for the first time. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is refuse to accept anything less than the respect you deserve, even if it means walking away from someone you thought you'd spend your life with. Especially then.